Okay guys, welcome back into part 2 of the engine rebuild. So I'm going to continue from where I left off, and I call this part 2, hoping to see if I could finish it up in part 2. If it's not, well, part 3 will be complete. So I'm trying to complete it in this other section here. So as I mentioned in the first part, this is just for viewing purpose, but I still explaining how you can do it, but I'm not telling you do it. You stand your own responsibility when you do it. Get your mechanic to do it. So we're going to look at the all the parts that I installing, and I will explain a little on it, not much, because it will take up time. So I will look at the area that we're going into now. I want to install the cylinder head in this. Now this is a CR14 engine. As you could see there, CR14 in Nissan. I'm going to start doing some action. Okay guys, this is the new gasket, and this is the old gasket. So you always compare the old one to make sure that all the hole line up and none out alignment. So yeah, so this is the correct gasket for this engine, and not only for this engine, this gasket work on other engine too. The full kit work on other engine, but we're dealing with this one, and this here doesn't work here to work on me. That's my coffee. So let me locate my head. I have the head right here, but I just have to check everything and make sure everything, all the valve cup bucket is in place. So I spray some copper spray, just making sure that everybody is in place, right? As you could see there, we'll just shift this forward a little, so we get a complete. I just checked in head to make sure that everything is okay, which is, so the head is clean. Right, make sure that you have no bolts or anything inside, and just wipe out these little cleaner. Don't want no liquid or anything inside here. So this here we're doing is lateral way. This is no machine. Right. Lateral way is getting it in. Right. So that's a see there. It's going in into the dowel. So I'm going to get the bolts them now. I have all the bolts in place. So what you do, you put the washer first. The washer can come from on top, and just wiggle it there and you get it into place. Right? And now we're going to run down them bolts. Okay guys, see this bolt here, you need a Allen head key. So what I end up doing, I can't find my Allen key right now, so I use a 10 socket and I cut this Allen key. What happens, you can use this hole to take out the head, but when you're tightening the head, you need to torque the head, so you cannot torque the head with this. So what I do, I cut out this piece from here and fit it in my socket, and it became a tool right now. This is very expensive. It's cheaper to cut this, so I could still take my 10 socket and use it anywhere I want. And that's it. That's going in. Yeah. Alright, so that's how it looked there. Right, that's how it looked there. See it? You always start from the center, just to run down here. Don't pull it too tight. Just run them down, and then you run down all equally. So now just feel it bounce, you hold up, just run it down here, right? What's going to happen here with the tightening now, I'm going to tighten 53 pounds per square inch, and then slacken back and go 23 pounds per square inch, and go 95 degree after the 23 pounds. So 53, slacken, tighten back 23, and 90 degree from 23, the cylinder head. So is that what I'm going to do there now? Okay guys, I end up torquing it 95 degree from 53, slacken back 23, tighten 23, and 90 degree from that. So my advice on this, you guys who is not qualified to do this should not try, because sometimes if your torque wrench didn't specify the amount of pounds that it doing, you could bust the bolt. So your mechanic will know if the torque wrench is working properly or not. Sometimes you could be pulling to the 53 and the torque wrench, you see in 53 on a day, sometimes the rating higher inside if it never service or it never calibrate. So you want to be careful with tightening that. So let your mechanic handle that, because as time go by, sometimes your torque wrench will click on some, it would not click on some. Except you have a gauge torque wrench, which is the better one. You will see the pounds on the gauge. The one I have is the one that's clicking. It's not 100% perfect. But the one with the gauge is more perfect because you're seeing where you're going up there. So let your mechanic handle that. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to install the camshaft. I want to explain something which I didn't show you guys, is that you bring up number 1 piston to the top dead center on the block, and then you install this, so you wouldn't have problem when you put on the camshaft here. You're having problem to put the piston to the timing. So it's a good practice. but even though it's out, you could still tighten it. So I just telling you guys that it's easier this way. It's not a training to qualify you to be a mechanic. It just a viewing purpose. So let's put on the camshaft here now. A good practice to do to check your clearance, always tighten up this on the outside before you put it up, and you check your turn and you check your clearance between this and the bucket to make sure that you get in clearance that you're supposed to. So this one here is the exhaust camshaft. So you always want to make sure you put some oil and put it in place, and then you turn it into what angle that it's supposed to do. So I just setting it up there now. So I'm going to install all the bearing cap, the camshaft cap. What's going on with this torque wrench? You're not hearing it clicking because of the small torque, but you're feeling the pressure when it move from the 14. If it's a heavier bolt where you go with a higher rating, you will hear it click. Right? So, but you're just feeling the movement through the handle there. If you watch here, see how it's spring loaded there, that tell you I reached the showing clean. Really going on. So it'll give me a nice right. So as you could see here, camera give me a little, see what, how to use it. I'm not going to do any reset now too. So right at the top there, I'm going to connect down on the below here, the other sprocket. Okay, this is where the timer look like. See it line up there on this here, and then on this side here, you have this plus a dot there. You look at the dot, and then we have down here where you see the little dot with the mark. So now that I'm going to put on the chain guide. I don't know the reason my camera showing dark when it was showing good all the time. So I don't want to interfere with anything there to just spoil this. Right, so that's the problem they're having, but never mind. Go back on it. Okay, so let me get the chain guide. Fast as you're catching up, tighten. Do not leave to come back, because you could forget to tighten somebody, except the other part had to go to it to tighten. But make sure you tighten every single bolts and nut. side. Right. Give me a little. You want to jump out, boy? Right. Right, and I push this inside. As you see, it gone right in. So you just align up by using this. So I take the two bolts now and take out this one. So as you can see there, the two bolts inside. I take out the long one, short one, and the tightening spot. You could use any thing, wire or whatever you want to use to send in the piston right in, and then you push something to the back of the clip. Right. Make sure it's tight. Right on. So you see what going on there. Pull the clip out. It's going forward. So as a tighten them thing, you make sure that you check over. Do not now I have these two bolts here to tighten. Right? These bolts them. And this is how it look in there. As you see the mark down below, that line up with the dot. This one line up with this mark here. This one line up here, plus it have a dot. Yeah, so you want to make sure that all them. Right, this lock will come back when I set up everybody. Suppose you get a little sloppy, but you're getting that because this is use oil pressure. Right, so okay, as you see here, that's the timing mark. It's lining up with this groove here, and then when you look here, you see a little countersink, and then you see in this here tensioner and the chain guide. And then look here, see this mark here, lining up with this here. So that's the timing for the engine. So we're going to the next stage now. So what I do now, I turn the engine upside down. So I'm going to put on the cover in it. Right, so this is the cylinder head gasket here. So I'm going to put on the front cover. I'm doing this here because I have equipment to turn it upside down and set it. but you could do it straight up. Just be careful when you're trying to skate it in, you damage the gasket. This is cover. Now we want to make sure that everything inside here is okay and tightened. Here, this section, check your timing over, you see the timing mark. Well, now all this side gets over. Right? So you want to make sure all these mark them line up, and you're putting up this cover. Right, this going this way. I just see it there. Line up all them bolts here. And after you do that, there's one more thing to get in there, which is this here. You don't want to forget this. Okay, this is going in here. I'm going to tighten the cover first. Set it up. If you could set it up before you tighten, no problem. Right, anyhow you want to do it, but remember this piece. This is what turn the oil pump. This is the oil pump area here, and this turn while the crankshaft is turning, it turn the pump. Right. I'm going to catch on all them bolts them. Okay guys, I removed back the cover to show you one thing I didn't show you. You want to make sure that this rubber seal here is installed. I put silicone there as you can see, but make sure this rubber seal go back in place. That is where it seal off. Right, that's so I just pull it out to highlight that area. Okay guys, I tighten up the front cover. Yeah, this is with the mounting bracket. Going for when you put the engine in the engine bay, that is the bracket for the mounting. So, try a little oil here. We have to look at that when you install any part, you look at this little groove here. Where together you always line up this. Make sure that line up, and the keyway don't matter what direction it is, but when you turn this part, you want to line this up so that this could slide in. Right? So okay, so as you see it gone in there, you don't want to forget that, because if you forget that, then you're mashing up your engine. Oil will not pump. So you see this here, see that line. If this line up, this adapter piece would not go in. So there is two bolts again to catch here. I'm going to turn the engine after complete putting on the oil sump. So I'm going to install the oil sump, the strainer, and also the check valve here. So I'm installing check valve and then this. So it's always good to clean out your oil pump throw a little oil in it. Make sure everything in that is good. You don't want that to feel. And the best time to service that is when you have it on the outside. So yeah, you don't want to forget to install these. So fast as you take out this here, you install it one time. Right? These are the little parts. So you want to install the and that is the relief valve. It holds the pressure to the required PSI. So let me tighten that up there one time. That's a 7/8 or a 22. Same thing, just different. This is the oil strainer. You want to make sure that you forget this one. If you forget this one, it's like you put a no oil pump. Because this need to pick up the oil. Right, so that is this fitting up there. I'm going to run up the bolts. And also there's a bracket on the side here to bolt on. Okay, I tighten the two bolts there and the bracket here. So you want to make sure you tighten all them things. Make sure everything is in place before you cover up the area. So that's the timing cover here. I'm going to put on the oil sump now. Everything that's supposed to be inside is inside. The rear seal. You don't want to forget to tighten these bolts or put these bolts. So you have to make sure them bolts there and everybody in place. Okay, let's put them all together and start putting them in place. Okay guys, as you see here, there's 3 long bolts. One here, okay, inside. That's one there, and 2 on this side. Right, these are the 2 bolts you want to tighten the cover. Not this one. This one is the oil strainer, but at least you want to make sure that. But the oil sump, 3 bolts inside here, and then you have all the other bolts on the outside here. So all them bolts is tight. So now that I could put on the cover here which hold the oil in, right? This is the casing really for all the parts there we secure inside here. This casing is around, but it have oil inside it, but the part that keep the oil is the oil sump pan, as you see here. Right, so you install that last because you had to take out this pan to really get out these bolts. So you want to make sure that all them bolts is in place. So I will put that pan in and then turn the engine over and get up the rest of parts. I tighten up all the bolts already. You always want to make sure that this bolt here tight. If you slacken it for any reason, tighten it back same time. You could always take it back and do what you have to do, but slacken it, tighten it back one time. You drain your oil, you have to scrap your engine, do not leave it slack. Tighten it at the same time because that is something you will bypass or leave it off. I just safety section to save your engine. So I finished the bottom of the engine, the crankcase section, well, the oil sump section. The crankcase is where the crankshaft located. Right, so